This computer, yay. All right, everyone. So welcome to our Monday night training call. It is April the 19th already. And I can't believe we are just flying through these months. So thank you so much for taking some time for being on the call tonight. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. We'd love to know who checked in and who's taking advantage of the trainings that we do have. So we've got a great training tonight planned for all of you that is going to be about sharpening those skills. Everything we're always doing is to sharpen up those skills, to just kind of keep tweaking and keep perfecting and keep changing and keep things different because nothing's always going to be the same in what you're doing. And if you continue to analyze what you're doing, you'll continue to tweak. So we're excited to share with you a great training tonight. First off, though, I do want to welcome our new artists. And some of you may be duplicated because my list from last week is gone. So if I'm recognizing you or welcoming you again, it's all good. So welcome to Kimberly Waddell. We have Maria Usinley. We have Jan Bradshaw, Mindy Piva, Nicole White, Trisha Brandt, Priscilla O'Connor, Kim Barkley, Jose Lachance, Nicole Lepan, and Nikki Kreeft, Holly Buvos Hort, Marja Hummer, Nicole, oh geez, Nicole, I'm really sorry. Nicole, Tracy, do you know this last name?
There's like 3 or 4 new Nicoles this week,
Nicole,
so I don't know which one you're looking at.
Yes,
Chirashu, I don't know. Nicole, welcome. Nicole, welcome. Nicole Chirashu, Amanda Russell, and Krista McGregor. So that one tricked me. Sorry, I did better with the French ones than that. But welcome everybody to our team. We're so excited to have you. Spring is such a great time to join in this industry because everybody's getting going, everybody's excited, and it's great to have something fun and positive to focus on right now in our world. So like I said, we have a great training plan. We're going to kind of do it a little bit of like a questionnaire interview sort of thing. If we have time at the end, we will open it up for questions. So feel free to drop them in the chat and then we'll answer them. But I'm going to introduce to you Ms. Tracy Donald, who is going to kind of MC our trainer this evening.
Thank you, Desiree. And I'm really excited about you guys having the opportunity to hear from Tammy Peats tonight. So one of the things that I love about this business is we are all in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. And the Girl Gang is a community of women here to support and inspire and uplift each other. And I am just so excited for you guys to hear from Tammy. Now, a couple stats that I shared earlier is Tammy started in October of last year, but she didn't do her first class until the second week of November. Okay. Since she started, she has sold almost $50,000 worth of Saint, and she might have actually already swung by that number by now because she's having an amazing month. She has held over 30 classes, you guys. And some people might listen to that and be like, man, that's kind of discouraging to me because I haven't had that success. But this is what I'm going to tell you. Listen to what she has to say. Here are the things she's doing. This is the only business that it's okay to be a copycat as long as you're copying the right cat. And Tammy Peats is the right cat. So we are going to get her on here so you guys can hear directly from her. And I'm going to really quickly give you a couple pro tips in regards to parties, and we are going to really try and get through this content so we have a bit of time for Q&A. But number one, it's easier to get a booking from a booking, and we will try and talk about that as Tammy gets going. Number two, having classes take 5 days in total from start to finish, and you can do 1 a week, you can do 2 a week, 3 a week, whatever your heart desires. And there's a difference between being confident and being desperate when it comes to business. And what you'll find with someone like Tammy is she's coming at the whole idea of her classes from the spirit of what can she do for people as opposed to what they can do for her. And when you flip that in your brain, amazing things happen. So Tammy, Peats, go ahead and unmute yourselves and say hello.
Hello, I'm happy to be here.
She just finished a class. I know that's shocking to everybody.
Yes,
So, so Tammy, this is the first question I'm going to ask you is, if someone asks you to host a class and they have not tried the makeup yet, what do you do with them?
I've had that happen to me a few times now. And so I'm thrilled that they want to host a class without even trying it, but I just feel like somebody has to try this makeup in order to be able to share how much they love it. And so I always color match them. I've done this a few times. I color match them and then I put together a compact for them. I just use the palette that holds 8, and I'll give them 4 highlights. So 2 different mains and 2 different brighteners. And then the bronzer, a contour, and then a lip and cheek with a couple of brushes, usually the B squared or the blush and bronzer brush, and the multitasker or the buff brush, and take it, drop it off at their porch, leave it with them for 2 or 3 days. And every single time I've done it, they've absolutely loved it, and then end up ordering and hosting a class. So
I love that. And I've never thought to do that. I've had people in to do their makeup prior to the shutdown we're in right now, but that's amazing. And so how do you sanitize the makeup really quickly when you get it back, Tammy?
I just use the brush cleaning spray.
Okay, because that does have an anti-bac in it. Okay, perfect. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. Wow. Okay. So what do you do that might make someone interested in hosting their own class that doesn't directly involve you?
Well, I always have, after each class finishes, when my hostess cashes in and gets all of her rewards, I always ask them if they wouldn't mind posting in my group. So they always will post like a photo of everything they've gotten, and they're always so excited, to share that. And that usually gets some more people interested. And I also always go into the group. So for example, tonight I had a girl close out her party from last week, and she had $309 credit and 4 items half price. So I went in and did a thank you, thanked everybody that placed an order and helped her to get all of this free stuff, said how much she got. And if you're interested in hosting a class and knocking stuff off your wish list, then reach out to me.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay. So do you know what a booking seed is?
A booking seed?
Yeah.
We
didn't really talk about this. So booking seeds are little things that you can kind of say and do during a class or in your VIP group that might incentivize people, or not incentivize, might inspire people to host a class. Would you, off the top of your head, if you were to think of your top 2 booking seeds, what would they be?
Well, one thing that I think is a great seed is I have a makeover Monday in my group. So I always ask somebody, usually I try to ask a host, but I've had other girls that are just customers that absolutely love it, and of every age group. And so I do a makeover Monday every Monday. And so I just ask them if they'd be interested in sharing their before and after picture, tell a little bit about themselves as much as they want to share, and what their old makeup routine was and what they love about Saint. So I have that every week, and the women love it. And I can't believe how, somebody will post and 50 people will comment and tell her how beautiful she looks. It's awesome.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing. Okay, perfect. So right now we have the team incentive of the beautiful Michael Kors bag, which is amazing. When we have months that we don't have team incentives, what types of things might you do, Tammy, that might make people want to pick a date with you and kind of take the plunge on having a class?
So I usually always post the calendar, for the month, just like I think a lot of people do, that show, what their free gift will be just for hosting. And I think a lot of people are always afraid that their party is going to be a flop. So I always say they're at least going to get a free lip and cheek or eyeshadow or whatever. And then, so I'm doing the draw May 1st. So right now I'm giving away the entire skincare line. So $196 value. Now the people that are going in on that draw was anybody that booked a class with me since I started in November till the end of April. And that really as well, like when people saw that, it was like, I want to book a party. Like, you know, I want to book this. But I'm also going to start doing that every month, I think. So for May, I might do, for anybody that hosts a class with me, your name's going to be put in the draw to win the brush cleaner and the setting spray, especially because you can't get those, right, with your credit. So I think that's a really good incentive for people to book a class as well.
I love it. That's great. And I know some people automatically think, well, what about the artist that can't, you know, that can't afford that? And honestly, you guys, there's not a lot of cost involved in this business, and investing in a setting spray and a brush cleaner as a month-long incentive for your hosts to have a class for you, it's so worthwhile. It will pay you back 10 times over, always. And I'm going to just really go back quickly to one thing that you said. And I just want to reiterate, people, one of the biggest hesitations for people to not have a class with you is that they don't want to fail. That is truly, like, if we did a survey, that is what the average person is going to say is their hesitation. They don't want to fail. And I just went through it. My daughter-in-law just started selling another product, or my daughter, not my daughter-in-law, my daughter just started selling another product with a direct selling company. And I told her I'd have a class. And I had that like, oh my gosh, what if nobody buys anything? I'm going to feel so foolish. And so it's our jobs as artists to make sure we're prepping our hosts and really having those conversations with them to make sure that they have no pressure and that they know you're partnering with them. Okay. So, and I know, Tammy, that you do a really, really good job of doing that. Okay. So, just a second. So weird. Okay. So what are extras that you do that make people feel like they are a valued part of your community?
So I was finding, because I work full time on top of this, and I have 3 teenagers and I'm a single mom. So about a month ago, I sat down and hand wrote a card to every single person that ordered from me. So I wrote like 165 personalized cards and mailed them out. And I'm not even kidding you. I had more people reach out to me and thank me and comment on my page that they just appreciated it, that it was so nice to get something in the mail that wasn't a bill. And I forgot to grab one. I made up like little business cards. So I had these pretty cards, wrote a personalized thank you, if I can be of any help in the future, and stuck in my business card in the envelope as well.
Sorry, my paperwork was causing all the feedback. My apologies. And you also do a weekly post thanking the customers that ordered that week.
I do. So I always thank in the actual party group as well, like the online, the Facebook group. I do a thank you for each person. But then every Sunday in my Bold, Brave, and Beautiful group, I do a thank you, and every single person that's purchased from me in that week, their name gets put there. And I honestly think a lot of times people see that and think, oh, like, oh, Tracy bought some makeup. Well, maybe I should try this makeup. You know, there's all those people that are sitting in the background that are just watching. And I remember at first, like, I thought, like, I've got 800 people in my group. Why am I only getting 30 likes? But you can't look at it that way, because there's all those other people that are just taking it all in. And yeah, it will catch up.
Yeah. Well, and that's just it. There are a lot of people like just being a fly on the wall. And when they see someone that they connect with, that it's like, oh, she's doing it too. So, and this is what really, really just resonated with me, is that you said, every Sunday, you do a thank you for the whole week. And I love that because it can feel overwhelming to people to manage all the thank yous and keep up with that. But if you're designating a day a week and your customers know to expect, like, I wonder who ordered this week, right? And I just, that's one of the biggest things. And that's one of my next questions for you is, what is the top tip that you can offer new artists wanting to create immediate success in their business?
Number one thing is you have to be consistent. Absolutely. My people in my group, I have a different theme every day of the week, and I do not stray from that theme. So they know what to expect. And I've had so many women say to me that that's the first thing they do in the morning is they check my post, because I set it all up and do it in Visly. And so they come up at 7 o'clock in the morning in my group, and they just know what to expect. They know that on Sunday, it's Saint Sunday. And that's the day that I'm going to go on and do a live tutorial and talk about Saint and do my posts about Saint.
I love
Consistency is key for sure.
It's true. It's very, and it's, we say that, and not only consistency, but lives. You know, you can post all you want, and it is not gonna transform someone's opinion on whether or not they need this product, but you start going live consistently, and even once a week. But if you can do it, you know, 1 to 2 to even 3 times a week. I know some people in the Girl Gang are literally going live like almost every day, and it's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do you think is the number one reason why people connect with you so well?
I think because I'm very authentic, I'm very honest. I have shared in my group personal things about myself, health-wise and such. And I think the sense of humor that I bring to it. Ryan and I have done 2 videos, and they love it. Like, they're asking for Brigitte to come back. When's Brigitte? That was Ryan. When is Brigitte going to come back and do another tutorial? So I told them, we're going to have to make this like book you in every couple of months to come on and do something. So, and he's all for it. I think that's, yeah.
Well, and you're just giving them a reason to smile, and people want to feel happy. Like right now more than ever, they just want to feel happy, and you're giving that to them. Yeah. Okay. So, and I want to go back to the whole handwritten customer cards, because I'm just curious, Tammy, if you were to guess, how many hours did that take you?
Oh, it was a lot. Like, I was working on it pretty much every night, coming home from work, and like, it took me a good week to get them all done, a week. But in saying that, now I do it as soon as they place an order. So I'm just constantly on top of it. So I do them, and then I put them aside with a sticky note and put mail out. And I put the date like a week from the day that they ordered to mail out their cards, so that at least they've got their product and have used it a little bit. And then my card comes in the mail, and yeah.
I love that. And honestly, I know that many of us, like, I mean, you started in October, and you just did this one, like, back a month ago?
Yeah, just the beginning. Well, it was the beginning of April, like Easter weekend, I mailed them out.
So I know some people automatically think, well, I wouldn't feel like I can do it now because it's been so long, but here's the thing that is just mind blowing all the time. Time compresses. And for customers, like, I want you to think of a situation where you were like, what? That's been 2 years. And it just felt like yesterday. So to them, they just started using Saint. And so whether you send it now or like, I mean, if you're going to do this, I would say get yourself caught up and keep up with it. But this is something that it's really easy to say you're going to do and then not do it. But it is also, in my opinion, one of the things that will separate Tammy from the masses in general in this industry, because everybody has good intentions until they realize what is involved. So I think now what I would love to do, Tammy, do you have anything else that we kind of missed covering that you want to talk about before we get into the Q&A? Because I think the Q&A is going to really, really bring out some great questions.
You're going to get out of this what you put into it. It's not easy for anybody. Like, and I work my butt off for this. And when I started, I just thought, I can remember being at your house and saying, I only want to earn like couple $100 a month, like maybe to be able to pay to get my house cleaned once a month. Never did I think that this would happen. So.
Do you have experience in direct sales, Tammy?
No.
Do you
No.
have experience in sales?
Nope. I work at the courthouse.
And that's a pretty high pressure job. So I can imagine by the time you get home, you know, this is like that light in your life, right?
It
And
is.
I like that you said that. And I mean, I'll be honest, I've had the blessing of being successful in many of my businesses. And I often hear from people how lucky I am and how I just have a big following. And, you know, and it's like the harder you work, and that's why I put that visual on the call for tonight, because it's the truth. The harder you work, the luckier you get. It's not easy for anyone. And one of the things, you know, that is so important for everybody to understand is the time commitment you're putting into this. And you're probably doing a little bit more right now than you would like to on the front end to have the time freedom on the back end. So let's open it up and see who else might have some questions. Actually, there was a couple. I'm going to just go back. Somebody said, if you have somebody who's out of town with the borrowed pallet, how would you handle that?
I did have somebody, but it was in Chatham, so that's not far from me. And I just dropped it off and left it at her door. And somebody far out of town, like, I don't think I would mail it to them or anything like that.
No. Okay. So you do it when you can, but if you can't,
yes,
it's not a big deal.
Yes. Everybody's been pretty local that I've done that for.
Okay. All right. Who's got questions? Someone must have a question for Miss Tammy. You can either type it or you can unmute yourself.
So Leanne King had one, and she had put in, Tammy, how do you get your VIP group to invite their friends in? So like, are you doing any sort of incentives, or how are you growing up that group besides your classes?
That is how I did it. I've done a couple of grow my group giveaways. And so just have them, like, you know, I set a certain time period and say, invite your friends. And then I just do a post and have them tag whoever accepted, or if they were invited, to tag who invited them. And then that's how, and I mean, my group grew. I think I was in February at maybe 260, and I'm at 846, I think, today.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
a lot of the girls too actually went and posted on their own personal Facebook page and said, if you haven't checked out this group, you need to check it out. It's so positive and uplifting, right? And then put the link, and I had tons of people join from that too.
So Melissa Pearson's asking, what are examples of themes that you use?
Themes?
Yeah. I don't
For
know.
for my classes, I don't really do any themes.
No,
I've never
you said you have a specific thing you post every day, so they know what to expect Mondays, Tuesdays.
Oh, okay, sorry. So I do Makeover Monday. So that's when I have somebody go in and share, do their before and after and share about Saint. I do Tip Tuesday, which is usually a video, but I don't do Tip Tuesday just about makeup. I do it about like anything and everything you could think of. I will do a Tip Tuesday. Wisdom Wednesday, that's basically me, I don't want to say preaching, but my little bits of wisdom of stuff that I've learned over the years, because I feel like I've been through a lot, especially my adult years. Thankful Thursday, I just do a post to remind everybody that there's got to be something that they can be thankful for. I think everybody needs to be reminded of that once in a while, especially with COVID. Friday, I do foodie Friday. So I do a recipe every Friday. Saturday is self-love Saturday. So I always do another, like either a quote or some, you know, something personal about me and how I struggled with self-love. So self-love Saturday. And then Sunday is always Saint Sunday.
And that's when you go live and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I usually do 5 or 6 posts, you know, either eyeshadows or whatever. And then I always go live on Sunday too.
That is amazing. I love that. So Marla has a really good question for you. So how do you bring up the idea of someone hosting a party to someone that host a party to people that don't come to you and ask? So how do you bring up the idea of someone having a party that doesn't come directly to you and say, I want to have a party?
I have never personally asked anyone to have a party. Everybody has come to me and wanted to have a party. So I might have, I post and, I'll post the calendar and post the picture of what the rewards are, and then say, now booking classes for May. Reach out to me.
Tell us about the calendar, because not everybody on this call will know about that calendar.
So there's a calendar, like if you go into the Saint Artist Images group, there's some really talented people in there that will do up a calendar. So say for May, and it'll be like the first week, it'll say eyeshadow. Second week, it'll say lip and cheek. Third week, it'll say illuminator. Fourth week, it'll say perfector sponge. So I always post that with the rewards of what they can get, and then just do like a post about hosting a class. But I have never had to ask a friend or family member, anybody, to host a class. Knock on wood. They've all come to me and wanted to host a class.
And do you know why that is? Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, it's one of the first things I said at the very beginning. It's easier to get a booking from a booking. So those of you that are sitting here going, my God, I can't even get one class, and this lady's got 30 people running up to her saying, let me have one. I swear, I don't know why, but when you host classes, it's easier to get bookings from those classes. And even if they don't happen immediately, they happen in the follow-up, because the fortune is in the follow-up. Would you agree with that, Tammy?
Yes, I do agree.
Yeah. So Melissa Pearson asked, is your group private or public?
My group is private.
Yeah.
Not public.
So perfect. And Bev Alawa. So I'm assuming a typical party is in the demo she does. Bev, how long is your party demos?
5 days it lasts. So I do.
And how long is your live?
My live? Oh, I'm usually 45 minutes.
Yeah.
If they're asking a lot of questions, it might stretch out to like 55 minutes, but that's probably the longest it's ever been.
Okay, perfect. So Marla's asking so Tracy, do you have suggestions of how people can approach people if they may not have the same engagement in a group? So a couple things. So first of all, like we said at the beginning, when you go on what's in it for them as opposed to what's in it for you, that mind shift is just a really, really, it's a healthy thing to have happen. And so going about it on what they can get from it. But I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, getting down on your knees and praying and begging for people to help you out. Like, do not be afraid to say to your close friends and family, I need to start somewhere. And today's your lucky day because you're my person. We all need to start somewhere. Tammy started with family and friends, and she was very blessed with a group of women that came together, knew she had a mission. And we don't have time to get into her story, but Tammy's got one heck of a story of, a health crisis she's been working through. And what is amazing is that she has made Saint the vehicle to educate women on everything she's been through. So there's value being given to people. And so people that don't have that level of engagement, you got to start with the people in your circle. Like, you can't start with strangers. It's nearly impossible. And so don't be beneath a bribe, a healthy legal bribe of like, I'm going to give you this if you host a class for me that's, at least qualified. Okay. Curious about posting the host rewards on the host party page. Do you ask their permission first? Do you ask people permission to post their party rewards in their party page?
Nobody's ever had a problem with it.
Yeah, I think that most people are actually quite okay. They know that they're having a party, they're getting free stuff. And so I can't really see that as ever being an issue. Do you ever do classes outside of Facebook, Tammy? Like, for example, Zoom, FaceTime, Messenger parties at all? Or you just...
I don't do anything on Instagram at all. I'm strictly on Facebook. I have done Zoom before, like on color correcting, and just put the Zoom link, and anybody that wanted to join, we did like a Zoom, meeting, and everybody could ask questions and stuff. I've only done that once, but otherwise I'm strictly on Facebook, and I have never, and I don't ever go on my personal Facebook page and talk about Saint at all. I've never done that either. I've put on there about joining my Bold, Brave, and Beautiful community and wrote like the themes and what it's about, but that's the most that I've ever done on my personal Facebook page.
Well, and I personally don't think there's anything wrong with going on your personal Facebook page once in a while. You certainly don't. I mean, I see some people, their whole page is about their business, and I'm like, unfriend, like I'm not listening to them. If I want to know about their business, I'm going to ask them. But once in a while, it's really healthy to get out there, and you're just not at a point where you've had to do it. There will come potentially a point in your business where you're going to be like, I need to pull out the stops and figure this out. And that's okay if that happens. But yeah, it's really something that's actually kind of a good thing to do every once in a while, because you just don't know who might be like, oh my gosh, how have I not seen this yet? Right. So, okay. Any last minute questions? Tammy, this is so amazing. Honestly, does anyone have any last minute questions before we wrap this up? We're doing really good for time. So no. Okay. Well, I before we give it back to Desiree, Tammy, I just want to say thank you. Like I said, we're a community of people. Yes. Okay. So Becky just posted the calendar, and I was going to say, let's do it in the comments, but she just posted it in the Girl Gang. We're a community of people uplifting, inspiring, and helping each other. And you truly are a gem to hop off a class 10 minutes before this call and hop right in here and let me grill you. So thank you so much, Tammy.
Thank you. Happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tammy. Like Tracy said, I just want to reiterate so much, when we have people hop on to our weekly training calls, it's because they're doing things that need to be shared, and they're doing it. They're giving their time, and they're giving their full heart to everybody in this team, because they want to see people win. And it's people like the Tammy Peats that just hop off of a class, that are willing to pour into you, that make this organization absolutely incredible. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Tammy, because there's some things in there that are so golden. And one of the things that I think, if you're saying to yourself right now, because look, I've been in this industry for 21 years, and I've had people come up to me and say, Des, you'd never get it. You're lucky. You'd never get my pain. You'd never get my struggle. You'd never get that I have nothing on my calendar right now. You just can't even relate to me. And I'm going to tell you that's completely wrong. You can be a Tracy Donald and have a maxed out calendar, and then all of a sudden be like, whoa, it's crickets. How did I get here? What's going down? And then you got to get it going again. And they're right that it's the best spot to get classes is off of classes. That is where you have the most excitement. But don't fool yourself. We all get to that point where you're like, ooh, I gotta get some classes up. I gotta get busy. I gotta get asking. I've got to get creative. And it goes full circle. And the first time you get back there, you're like, okay, I know how to get myself out of the hole. I know how to pick myself back up. And you do it quicker and faster every single time. So if you're saying to yourself right now, shoot, I don't have anything on my calendar for the next 10 days, say, what Tracy Donald said to you is everything. You go and you ask for help. You don't, if you have a close circle of people, it's not even about bribing them. It's honestly saying, I really, truly, so badly want to make this work. And can I please ask you to help me? Your mom, your auntie, your sister-in-law, your best friend, the women you work with, whoever is in your circle, if you say those words, I really want to make this work, and will you help me? They're getting hundreds of dollars of makeup for free. They will help you. But you just have to be vulnerable for 30 seconds and say that statement, and those people will rise. If anybody comes and says, please help me, I will instantly help them back. No matter what I have to do to figure it out, we all will as women. So remember that. in getting yourself going, because it takes one good class to create what I've always referred to as the snowball effect. You know, when you start making that snowball and it's tiny and tiny, and then you start rolling it in the snow, that's like a class. One good class explodes your business and can take you for months and years inside of these chains. So treat every class on your calendar like it's your last one, because that is what keeps that snowball just flourishing. Okay. So I wanted to just close off on this. We've all heard this before, but I think it's something we have to really remember. If you treat your business like a hobby, it pays you like a hobby. Okay. So if you're dabbling and you're playing and you set aside, I got an hour to work, and we go like this on Facebook, and then we touch in Instagram, and we watch a bunch of reels, and then we watch a bunch of TikTok videos, you have worked this much. 0. Okay. So deciding how you want to work your business, working those pockets of time is essential. Work it like a hobby, it pays it like a hobby. Work it like a part-time, it pays like a part-time. Work it like a full-time business, it will pay you like a full-time business. Will it pay you like a full-time business today? No, it won't. Will it pay you like a full-time business in the weeks and months to come? Absolutely. And it will happen that much quicker for you when you focus those pockets of time on where you want them to be. Because I am like all of you, where I can be like, okay, I'm going to sit down and have my coffee. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I lost 45 minutes of my life. And I checked a bunch of statuses and commented on stuff, and I better get to work. Okay. So we're all in the same boat. And again, thank you so much for sharing, Tammy. If you have questions on this call thread, I always put them under the guide in the Girl Gang. There's a guide marked team calls, so you can find it there. If you have questions, ask Tammy there, and then everybody can see the question, and she can answer, and myself and Trace and Becky and Ray will chime in as well. So we hope you all have an incredible week. I have one announcement, and that is to watch the Girl Gang page, because we are doing a team event to help you boost your spring business. So have a great week, everybody. I hope the weather's good where you are. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.